And our top story, the city of Tybee Island changing the way visitors pay to park. They're adding a new daily option aimed at making longer stays more affordable and convenient. WSAV's Isley Herschel explains how it works and what it means for beachgoers.
$4 an hour and strict enforcements. Tybee Island parking can get expensive fast, but now the city is implementing a new parking pass, which will help make parking cheaper for visitors and locals alike.
If you're looking at doing something like this on a daily basis, you're looking at adding, in certain cases, 50, 60 bucks to your vacation. It can become expensive and limited things that you want to do.
Eric Davenport is one of many Tybee Island visitors here on vacation. He says when planning for the trip, he had to factor in the price of beachside parking.
It's $4 per hour, which seems a little high.
Our goal at the City of Tybee is to make visiting Tybee as easy and fun as possible.
Tybee Island's new daily parking passes aims to make it easier and cheaper for visitors and locals to enjoy a day of sand and surf. Parking costs $4 an hour for 12 hours out of the day. Staying there all day would cost you $48, but daily parking passes are only $25 for 12 hours.
Parking revenue helps with supporting Tybee's infrastructure. It supports all the good work that we do here on the island.
Some of the visitors we talked to say this gives them the option to stay all day and pay less than before the parking fee change.
I feel like paying for parking is really a big thing. I didn't want to pay for parking, but some places you go, you have to. So I feel like $25 for a whole day isn't really a bad deal.
Somebody like me who's just coming down for the day, maybe instead of buying a couple hours, we'll invest the whole day and spend it down here and spread some of our money throughout this community.
Parking is enforced from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. You're able to purchase a daily parking pass through the Park Tybee app. On Tybee Island, Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3 on your side.
New tonight at 6, 2 people in custody after a chaotic scene during a block party in Hiltonia. That's one that law enforcement says quickly escalated. The Screven County Sheriff's Office say deputies in Hiltonia police were monitoring a large crowd on Saturday night. They saw a car driving with multiple people riding on top of it. During that traffic stop, deputies say several people fled that scene. One man later taken into custody inside a nearby home. A second man also ran from officers, and when they attempted to take him to custody, his mother intervened. Officials say the mother was actually placed under arrest but resisted, leading to a struggle that brought officers and the woman to the ground. Law enforcement believes the situation escalated further when a large and increasingly aggressive crowd gathered around the officers. Officials say that's when officers used a show of force to disperse the crowd and regain control of the scene. Both the woman and the man taken to Screven County Jail. The investigation is still ongoing. We have 3 men now in custody in connection with a deadly shooting in Port Royal that left a 23-year-old man dead. Authorities say Derek Riley was arrested in North Carolina, while Naeem Riley and Damon Guathney Jr. taken into custody in Florida. Investigators say it happened May 15th at the Shell Point Apartments, where suspects allegedly confronted another group of people. Officials say 23-year-old Trayshawn Reed was shot and died at the scene. The 3 now facing murder, attempted armed robbery, and other charges. Savannah police investigating reports of shots fired near the Public Shopping Center on Abercorn Street. District 6 Alderman Curtis Pertee says 3 people have been taken in custody in connection with this incident. He says the individuals involved know each other. There's no ongoing threat to the public. Anyone with information is urged still to call Savannah police. And the Tybee Island community rallying around a family, 2 families displaced by Sunday's devastating house fire. And a fundraiser for city engineer Pete Goldbronson and his wife Lori has already raised nearly $10,000 as they begin the long process of rebuilding. A GoFundMe created for Pete and Lori Goldbronson has raised more than $9,800. The couple lost their home, one of their dogs, and nearly all of their belongings when a fire and explosion destroyed the duplex over the weekend. Friends say the Goldbronsons moved to Tybee from Wisconsin several years ago, quickly became active members of the community through their volunteer work, local events, and civic involvement. At the same time, there's a positive update in the search for Walker, which is the dog that fled during the fire. City officials say a drone has actually located Walker in the marsh near Little Tybee Island. While rescuers have been able to confirm his location, they haven't been able to safely bring him in due to that remote terrain and changing tides. Officials are asking the public not to attempt their own rescue efforts, saying those uncoordinated attempts could actually frighten Walker, make it more difficult for trained rescuers to reach him safely. We are still waiting for word that Walker has been safely recovered. We'll continue to follow those search efforts and definitely bring you the latest information as soon as we learn more. A major settlement now in place involving a Bryan County development and allegations of mishandling Native American remains, as well as thousands of archaeological artifacts. The developer of the gated Waterways community in Bryan County will pay $1.1 million to the federal government. That ends a lawsuit tied to the handling of Native American remains and archaeological artifacts. Now, according to court records, the federal government alleged more than 80,000 artifacts were actually mishandled. Officials also say her human remains and funeral objects were improperly removed during excavation work. The lawsuit filed in January of 2025 claims the developer failed to properly notify authorities and tribes, including the Muskogee Creek Nation, as well as the Seminole Tribe of Florida, when remains were actually discovered. Under the settlement, the company is going to pay the civic penalty, appoint an archaeologist to oversee preservation efforts, and repatriate human remains and funerary objects in coordination with tribes and Georgia officials. Certain portions of the property will also be permanently protected from development. In a joint filing, both sides called the agreement fair and in the public interest. The developer, however, denies the government's allegations while saying it remains committed to completing the project. The Waterways permit has also been extended through 2032. That's to allow time for compliance and preservation work. Well, quick access to life-saving equipment could make all the difference in an emergency. And now Bulloch County taking the first step, a new one, to help first responders and 911 dispatchers locate those AED devices faster by building a county-wide registry. WSAV's Evan Smoke has more.
AEDs are life-saving equipment, and Bulloch County 911 wants to know if you have one available for use.
The registry comes from the Mason Cells Georgia Senate bill that came out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it tells local 911 dispatchers for Bulloch, Candler, and Evans where's the nearest AED if we were to need one, or if a citizen of one of those counties would need to use one.
Kemp says once the registry goes live in July, 911 dispatchers will be able to more quickly locate them when there is a cardiac emergency.
If you were to call 911 and it is a cardiac arrest, once 911 receives that call, they can look up on their screen for little purple hearts, and that purple heart will say an AED is located either in this building or this building. They can click on that building. It will have a set of notes in it, and it will tell you exactly where that AED is located.
County EMS Director Brian Hendricks says the registry will be helpful to him and his staff.
It's always good for when somebody calls 911, having that immediate access, the 911 dispatchers having the immediate access to let them know, hey, in the building next to you there's an AED. So I believe it will make a difference.
For more information on how to register an AED in one of the 3 counties, please visit our website, WSAV.com. Reporting in Statesboro, Evan Smoke, WSAV News 3, on your side.
The FIFA World Cup set to officially kick off tomorrow. It makes the start of the biggest tournament for international soccer. Right here in Georgia, Atlanta going to play a major role, hosting multiple matches over the next several weeks. The Mercedes-Benz Stadium is going to host 8 matches total during the tournament. That brings international teams and fans from around the world to the city. Now, the FIFA World Cup actually features an expanded 48-team format, more than 100 matches across 16 host cities. Atlanta's schedule includes group stage matchups beginning in mid-June and additional knockout stage games planned as the tournament continues to advance.